Part 1. My neighborhood, my walls. I always knew my neighborhood wasn't the kind of place where dreams were born. Dreams here don't survive. They suffocate before you even figure out what they could have been. I grew up on the south side of Chicago, in a block my older brother Jay always called the Pit. And he wasn't wrong. Even the air feels heavy here. A mix of cheap liquor from the corner store, yesterday's garbage that no one bothered to take out, and something else, something rotten you can't quite name. Even the trees look dead, their bare branches like fingers scratching at the sky. The sidewalks are cracked. Grass grows through them like the city gave up on fixing anything years ago. People sit on their porches, staring at the street with blank eyes, like they're watching a TV show they've seen too many times. On every corner, there's someone selling something. It's not always drugs. Sometimes it's stolen phones, fake sneakers, cigarettes. You learn real quick not to ask questions. But the people in the neighborhood, they aren't all bad. Most of them just want to survive, like us. It's just that the line between right and wrong is a blur here. I don't talk much to the others. School is its own battle. You either stick with the crowd, or you walk alone. I walk alone. I can't remember the last time I felt like I belonged anywhere. Mom says, be thankful for what you've got. She's always saying that. The words come out tired, like she says them for herself more than for me. She works at the hospital as a janitor, scrubbing floors for hours, coming home well past midnight. Her hands always smell like bleach, even when she tries to scrub them raw. I can see how hard she's holding on, but her eyes give her away. She's tired in a way that no sleep could fix. Jay is 6 years older than me. For as long as I can remember, he was my hero, the one who taught me to ride a bike, the one who told me to keep my head down at school. But heroes don't last long here. Not in the Pit. I remember the first time Jay came home with a brand new pair of shoes. They were expensive. Mom didn't ask how he got them. She didn't ask about the money he'd started bringing home. She didn't want to know. She had enough on her plate. But I knew something was wrong. Jay, I asked one night, how'd you get the shoes? He didn't answer. Just threw his bag on the chair and went straight to the fridge. Don't worry about it, Lil, he said, using the nickname he'd given me when I was younger. Just focus on school. But I saw the look in his eyes. The same one that told me, I'm not your brother anymore. Now he's part of a gang. They call themselves the South Block. I've seen him on the corner with the others, hoodies up, hands in their pockets, eyes scanning the street like predators. Jay says he does it for us. That street money comes faster than what Mom brings home from mopping hospital floors. But I've seen him at night, sitting in the dark kitchen, staring at the table with his fists clenched like he's holding himself together by sheer will. One night, after I heard another fight from the alley below, I decided to ask him straight. Jay, are you dealing? He didn't even look at me, just kept his eyes on his phone, tapping the screen. Mind your business, he muttered. And that was it. The days dragged on. Each one felt the same. I went to school, walked the same cracked sidewalks, saw the same tired faces. Everything was familiar, and that was the problem. One day, it was worse than usual. The whole block was on edge. I could feel it in the air. Jay wasn't home, and Mom had been on the phone all morning. I overheard her talking to someone. Something about payback. I wanted to ask, but I didn't. Because deep down, I already knew. The truth about the streets is that it doesn't matter what you want. You don't get to choose how you live, where you live, or who you become. The street chooses that for you. And once you're in, there's no getting out. It was just before dark when the knock came. At first, I thought it was just another person asking for money. But it was louder this time. More insistent. Bang, bang, bang. It wasn't the polite knock that neighbors do. This was the kind of knock that made your heart race. Mom looked at me, her face pale. I saw the fear in her eyes before she even spoke. Don't open that door, Lil, she said, voice trembling. but I wasn't sure if she meant it for me or for herself. I heard someone on the other side, yelling. The voice was rough, like someone who'd spent too much time in the street. "Yo, Jay," the voice called out. "We know you in there. You owe us." I froze. My stomach flipped. Mom's hand gripped mine, but she didn't move. She didn't say anything else. I could feel her breath, shallow and quick. I waited, but the yelling kept getting louder. Then, the sound of footsteps running away. Mom went to the window, peeking out. "They're gone," she said, but there was no relief in her voice, only more fear. "Mom, what's happening?" I asked, but she didn't answer. She just stood there, staring out into the night. That night, Jay came home late. He was acting strange. He walked in like nothing had happened, like he hadn't just had some sort of run-in with the street. He grabbed his jacket, looking for something. "Jay," I started. "What's going on?" His eyes flicked to me for just a moment. Then he looked away. "Go to bed, Lil. Don't worry about it." "I'm not stupid," I snapped. "I saw what happened outside." He sighed, running a hand through his hair. "I told you to stay out of it." "I'm not stupid," I repeated. "What's going on?" For a moment, he didn't say anything. Then, "You don't understand, Lil. You're too young for this. You're just a kid." But I wasn't a kid anymore. "I'm not a kid anymore, Jay. I can handle things. You don't have to protect me." He was silent, staring at me like he was trying to figure something out. Finally, he shook his head. "Go to bed," he said again, softer this time. "You won't understand." As I lay in bed that night, staring at the cracks in the ceiling, I realized something. Jay wasn't my hero anymore. The street had taken him. It had swallowed him whole, and I was left behind, wondering if I'd be next. But deep down, I knew. The street always comes for you. Eventually, it comes for all of us. Part 2. When the darkness comes closer. When you're 14 and you live here, you figure it out quick. The street watches you. It knows your name, knows when you leave your house, knows how weak you are. It's not paranoia, it's survival. I feel it every day, like eyes on my back. I hate walking home from school when the sun's gone. The lights on our block barely work. Some flicker like they're deciding if they want to stay alive. The ones that still shine don't make things safer. They just throw long shadows that make everything look worse. Every sound at night feels personal. Footsteps behind me. The rumble of an old car creeping by. Laughter in the distance, the kind that isn't really friendly. It's like the whole street is whispering, "You don't belong out here alone." Jay used to walk me home when things were bad. But lately, he's been out more than in. When he does show up, it's different. He doesn't joke with me anymore. He doesn't ask how school went. He just checks the windows and the doors, like he's expecting someone to come for us. "Stay close, Lil," he tells me when I walk next to him. Lil, that's what he calls me. Little man. I try to act like I'm not scared, but I'm not like him. Jay's got this steel in his eyes. He looks at people in a way that makes them look away first. I can't do that. The people Jay's been hanging with lately, they're different. I've seen them. Some are older, way older. Guys with deep scars across their faces, tattoos crawling up their necks like vines. One of them, Derek, used to stop by our building sometimes. I saw him one night talking to Jay outside. His eyes were red, jaw moving like he couldn't stop grinding his teeth. I know what that means. We all know. They don't come inside. They don't need to. Jay always steps out to meet them. And every time, when he comes back, he smells like smoke and gasoline. The night everything changed started quiet. Too quiet. Me and Mom were having dinner, noodles, and whatever frozen veggies we had left. Jay wasn't home yet. He hadn't been home for 2 nights in a row. Mom didn't say much. She never does when Jay's gone. The silence at our table isn't peaceful. It's heavy. I try not to clink my fork too loud because even that feels like it'll set her off. Then, bang, bang, bang. The pounding on the door nearly made me drop my fork. "Who is it?" Mom yelled, but her voice wasn't strong. Open up, a voice barked back. I froze. It wasn't the cops. I'd heard that kind of voice before. Mom stood up, put her hand on my shoulder. Go to your room, she whispered. I didn't move. Now, I was about to argue when the door handle rattled like they were trying to force it. Then, a voice I recognized. Yo, Jay. We know you in there. City boys. My heart stopped. Even saying the name makes my stomach twist. They're not like South Block. South Block sells weed, maybe a little coke, does some petty robberies. City boys, they do worse. They don't just fight you. They disappear you. I heard one of them kick the door. You think you can hide? Mom grabbed my arm so tight it hurt. Go out the back, she whispered. But before I could move, another voice came from outside. Yo, if you don't come out, we burn this bitch down. And then, gunshots. Not at the door. Downstairs. Heavy fast. I hit the floor, covering my head. Mom did too. My whole body was shaking so hard I could barely breathe. After a minute, it went quiet. Just distant yelling. Then, suddenly, another pounding on the door. This time it wasn't city boys. It was Jay. Open up. It's me. Mom pulled the door open. Jay burst in, face red, hands shaking. Mom, turn off the lights. Now. She didn't ask questions, just moved. I froze. What happened? I asked. That's when I saw it. Blood on his hoodie. Fresh. Nothing, Lil. Go to your room. Whose blood is that? He looked at me, jaw tight. Didn't answer. That told me more than words could. He grabbed a duffel bag from under the couch. I'd seen it before. It was the one he kept hidden. I gotta go, Jay said. You're not going anywhere. Mom screamed, grabbing his arm. If I stay, they'll come back. And they'll take you. He looked at me, then at Mom. Climbed out the window onto the fire escape. That was the last night I saw my brother the way I knew him. The days after were a blur. Mom barely slept. She kept calling people, some of Jay's friends. Begging. Threatening. You dragged him into this. He's just a kid. I don't owe you shit. I went to school, but I didn't hear anything. Couldn't focus. All I could think about was Jay. What if they killed him? What if they were still looking for him? Then, on the third day, he came back. But it wasn't Jay anymore. His face was cut up. His jeans torn. His eyes empty. He walked past me without a word, went to the kitchen, drank water straight from the jug. I wanted to ask what happened, but my throat wouldn't work. Everything's fine, Lil, he said finally. It's handled. But I knew. Nothing was fine. That night, I heard him on the phone, whispering in the dark. Words I couldn't make out. A name. Derek. Another I didn't know. Then silence. And I realized my brother wasn't just in trouble anymore. He was drowning. Part 3. The schoolyard isn't safe. They always say school's supposed to be an escape. A safe place. Somewhere you can leave the street at the door. That's a lie. My school isn't a safe place. It's just another hunting ground. The hallways are full of kids who are one fight away from being locked up. Some of them are already running with crews. Some are trying to survive. Some are just waiting for their turn to get caught up in the cycle. If you're quiet like me, they think you're weak. They think they can take things from you. Your lunch money, your dignity, even your voice. That morning, I could already tell it was going to be a bad day. I was at my locker when Marcus walked up. He's bigger than most seniors, even though he's only 16. He's got these cold eyes that don't blink when he stares at you. He runs with a small group. Guys who wear red bandanas tucked in their back pockets. City boys. You Jay's little bro? Marcus asked, leaning against the locker next to mine. I froze. I didn't like how he said my brother's name. Yeah, I said carefully. He smirked. Figures. He reached out and grabbed the notebook from my hand. Hey, I snapped. Relax, little man. I just want to see what you're writing. He flipped it open, skimming the first page. Oh, you one of those kids who write their feelings down? Cute. He tossed it to his friend, who laughed. Give it back, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. Oh, Marcus mocked. Look who grew a spine. I felt the heat rise in my face. My hands were shaking, but I didn't back down. Give it back. For a second, I thought he was going to hit me. But instead, he just shoved the notebook hard against my chest. Watch your mouth, Jay Jr., he said. Tell your brother he can't hide forever. Then he walked away, laughing with his crew. I wanted to forget it, but I couldn't. All day I felt eyes on me. I didn't know if it was just Marcus or if it was bigger than that. If they were watching me for Jay. By lunch, I couldn't take it anymore. I sat alone at a table in the back of the cafeteria. The noise around me felt like static. That's when Mia sat down. She's the only person at school who talks to me like I'm not invisible. Long black braids, gold hoops, this soft way of talking like she's always afraid of saying the wrong thing. You good? She asked, opening her water bottle. Yeah, I lied. No, you're not. She glanced over her shoulder. I saw Marcus messing with you. I can handle it. She raised an eyebrow. Sure. I didn't say anything. I just picked at my food. She leaned in closer. Look, you know why he's bothering you, right? I didn't answer, but she kept talking. Your brother's mixed up with the wrong people. And Marcus? He wants to make a point. He can't get to Jay, so he'll go after you. I swallowed hard. I hated that she was right. The final bell couldn't come fast enough. I grabbed my bag and rushed out, trying to avoid Marcus and his crew. But as soon as I hit the front steps, I saw them. 3 of them, waiting. My stomach dropped. Mia was right behind me. You need me to walk with you? She whispered. No, I said quickly. Go home. She hesitated, then walked the other way. I started walking fast, my head down. Yo, Jay Jr. I didn't turn around. Don't ignore me. A hand grabbed my shoulder and spun me around. Marcus, you think you're too good to talk to me, he growled. I opened my mouth, but before I could speak, he shoved me hard against the brick wall. My backpack fell to the ground. Your brother owes people, Marcus said. And you? You're an easy message. His fist came at me fast. It didn't really hurt at first. It was like my body went numb. But then I tasted blood. I fell to the ground, covering my head as he kicked me. Once. Twice. Tell Jay we're coming for him, Marcus said. Then they walked off, laughing like it was just another Tuesday. I didn't go home right away. I couldn't. I sat on the curb behind the school, wiping the blood off my lip with my sleeve. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. I wanted to cry, but the tears wouldn't come. I thought about what Mia said. About Marcus. About Jay. If I told Mom, she'd freak. If I told Jay, I didn't even know what he'd do. All I knew was this. I wasn't safe anywhere. Not at home. Not at school. Not on the street. Nowhere. When I finally got home, Jay was sitting at the table, rolling a blunt like nothing was wrong. He looked up at me, saw my split lip, and froze. Who did that? He asked, voice low. I didn't answer. Lil, he said, standing up. Who did that? Doesn't matter, I muttered. The hell it doesn't. Marcus, I said finally. And his friends. Jay's whole face changed. He didn't yell. He didn't curse. He just grabbed his jacket and walked out the door. Jay? Wait. I shouted, but he was gone. That night, I didn't sleep. I just stared at the ceiling, waiting for the sound of sirens. Because I knew whatever Jay was about to do, it wasn't going to end clean. Part 4. When the street takes everything. Jay didn't come home that night. I stayed awake in bed, staring at the window, waiting to hear the creak of the fire escape, the soft thud of his shoes hitting the floor. But the night stayed quiet, except for sirens in the distance. Every time I heard one, my stomach twisted. By morning, I couldn't take it anymore. Mom, I said, as she poured herself coffee with shaky hands. Where's Jay? She didn't answer right away. She just kept staring into her cup like the coffee might tell her something she didn't want to say out loud. Jay's handling things, she said finally. No, he's not, I snapped. He's out there doing something stupid. Her head shot up, eyes sharp. Don't talk about your brother like that. I wanted to yell at her. Tell her she was wrong. That Jay wasn't a hero, not anymore. But I didn't. Because even if I said it, it wouldn't change anything. I tried to go to school, but I couldn't focus. I kept checking my phone, waiting for a text from Jay. Nothing. At lunch, Mia sat across from me. You look worse than yesterday, she said. I didn't sleep. She hesitated. I heard something. My chest tightened. What? Marcus ain't been at school. His boys either. I stared at her. You think? I started, but I couldn't finish. She didn't say anything. She didn't have to. That night, Jay came home. But he wasn't the same Jay I'd known. He walked in like he owned the place, but his clothes were ripped, his hoodie stained with something dark. His knuckles were raw, skin torn. Jay, I said carefully. What did you do? Handled it, he said flatly, dropping a wad of cash on the kitchen table. They won't bother you again. Mom stared at the money like it might bite her. Jay, what did you do? He didn't answer. He just went to his room and slammed the door. I didn't sleep again. Because I knew. Marcus wasn't just gone. Jay made him gone. The next few days were tense. I didn't leave the apartment unless I had to. Mom stayed quiet, cleaning things that didn't need cleaning. Jay disappeared for hours, sometimes days. But trouble doesn't disappear. It waits. It happened on a Tuesday. I was walking home from school. The air felt heavier than usual, like the whole block was holding its breath. When I turned the corner onto our street, I saw them. 2 cars. Black. Windows tinted. Parked right outside our building. My heart dropped. City boys. I didn't even have time to run before one of them spotted me. There he is. The doors opened. 4 of them got out. I ran. I don't remember much. Just the sound of my feet slapping the pavement, my heart pounding in my ears, someone yelling for me to stop. Then, a hand grabbed my hood, yanking me back so hard I hit the ground. You think you can run, little man? A voice growled. I looked up. Red jacket. The same one who'd threatened me before. He crouched down, grinning. You tell Jay this is on him. Then I saw the gun. Get off him. The voice came from behind. Jay. He came out of nowhere, charging like a wild animal, slamming into Red Jacket so hard they both hit the ground. Run, Lil, he shouted. I didn't move. I couldn't. Then the shots started. Pop, pop, pop. My ears rang. My body froze. I saw Jay fall, blood pooling under him. Red Jacket stumbled back, clutching his arm, yelling at his crew. Let's go, one of them screamed. And just like that, they were gone. I crawled to Jay. Jay, I shouted, shaking him. Stay with me. His eyes flickered. He tried to speak, but blood filled his mouth. Lil, he whispered. Don't be me. Then his hand went limp. The sirens came minutes later. The cops pushed me back. They tried to pull me away, but I kept screaming his name. I don't remember much after that. Just Mom's scream when she got there. After. It's been 3 weeks. The apartment is quiet now. Too quiet. Mom doesn't talk much. She just sits in her chair by the window, staring out at the street like she's waiting for someone who's never coming back. I can't look at Jay's room. It still smells like him. People came by after the funeral, neighbors. Some of Jay's friends from South Block. They all said the same thing. He was a good kid. He didn't deserve this. The streets take too much. They left flowers, some cash, promises to look out for us. But the truth? No one's looking out for us. The streets took Jay, and now they're watching me. Every time I walk outside, I feel them. The city boys, the South Block, the whole damn block. They're all waiting. And I don't know if I can escape. Because in this place, nobody really does.